Alrighty, so I got my multimeter. And let's see if we can troubleshoot this switch. So here we go. Here's the switch. It doesn't feel like there's anything wrong with it mechanically. And it's a momentary switch. You push it in and it springs back. So let's see, it goes to this wire loom here. And what do we got? Before the accident, the power button did work, so it's yeah, I guess I gotta try and trace this out. These two lines are really tiny. So I think even though they're all the same color, I think I can figure out which ones these are just by looking at them, because they're a little tinier. They're a little smaller gauge than the other wires. So let's see. It's definitely not any of them. It's not this one. So it must be this one right here. So let's see, I've never had this apart, so I'm gonna have to pop the get that rubber to give. A lot of times you can cut it. You can just cut it with your fingernail, honestly. And there it is. I think, I don't know how well the camera can see it, but this is a red connector. And this is my best guess. I think this goes to that switch. So let's see what's going on here. Oh, this is going to be really, really hard to do by myself. So it looks like I just found the problem. Look at that. I just wanted to check this connector, and look at that. It isn't soldered on there. I don't think the camera is going to be able to get. I'm going to try and zoom in on this. This is the second time I've had to solder a joint on this thing. This makes the most sense. I don't know, maybe I'll throw a clip of the video in that caused this quote-unquote soldered joint to come apart. This is starting to get really, really frustrating with the Tesla. But I'm really, really happy because this definitely should be the problem. Hopefully it is, but let me just test this switch. That's gotta strip this wire a little bit. I think if you have one of these little torches and you really need to, I bet I could solder this back on there just like that. But I'm going to strip it back and get the soldering iron on it and try and get it a little bit better than it was. So that's stripped. Boom, boom. And I'm going to grab the soldering iron. Alrighty, so I got that tinned and got that wire soldered. Looks like it's on there pretty good. So yeah, that's really on there good. So that'll fix the switch. I guess I should test it. Let's test this out again. Alrighty, so yeah, here we are. Here's the black wire. Like I said, after I soldered the red one, I couldn't get the switch to work. I couldn't get any continuity through the harness right here. And I want to try and get as good of a shot as possible on that. There's like absolutely no solder on that terminal. And let me see if this is tinned. I guess there was a little bit of solder on there somewhere, maybe. But it looks like they tinned the wire and then they just melted the shrink wrap on and never soldered it. So yeah, if you've seen the video, I mean, there's absolutely no reason why this switch should have broke. I said it earlier, I should go through this and just solder everything, and looks like I might have jinxed myself. Alrighty, so it looks like I got a much better shot of the camera here. And yeah, I don't know if I'll put the other clip in or not, but I soldered this connector. And as always, whenever you do stuff, you should always double check your work. And I went to test it in the plug, and the switch was broken again. So I decided to have a look at the black wire. I couldn't get any continuity across the black wire in the connector. And I tried to roll the shrink wrap back, and the whole connector came completely off, just like the red one. So it's pretty obvious, and I'm trying to get a good close-up on this. You can see there's absolutely no solder on this connector. There was a little bit of solder on the red one up here, but there's pretty much no solder on the bottom one where they had the black wire hooked up. So I'm gonna have to solder this together. You know, my joint is really good there, and it isn't the best. I'm gonna grab some really high quality duct tape and tape over this instead of shrink wrap. But yeah, really disappointing. The amount of money you pay for this wheel, and this isn't the only soldered connection I've had to fix. Where's the other one? The switch. The switch also messed up, and as you can see, there's no like shrink wrap or goo. I'm sorry, I'm not even in the camera. As you can see, there's no shrink wrap or goo over here because yeah, this connection also broke. It was also a really poorly soldered together joint. And it's just super disappointing. So I'm going to solder this back up and put this back together. So there. First, I'm going to tin the connector. Try and get a nice little blob on it. Try to tin the wire. There we go. Yeah, I know the camera's not going to be able to pick a lot of this up. I can't even really see what I'm doing. Definitely not the cleanest, but that's a good solder joint. You know, there's plenty of solder, actually probably too much, but guarantee it's going to connect good, and those wires are on there. I can tug them pretty good, and they're on there. So that's fixed. I'm just going to grab some electrical tape and go over that, each one at a time. And while I'm here really quick, I'm going to test these, make sure it's a good connection, everything works. And hopefully there's no more drama with the switch. It's absolutely ridiculous, but it goes to show you it really pays to check your work. So, and now that everything's off, this should actually be really easy to test. I can just put the leads right here. So look at that, works absolutely perfect every time. And I'm not going to leave anything to chance. I'm also going to test. This is a really interesting way to test something like this. So I'm just going to test the whole connector with one lead there and one lead here. And as long as I get continuity when I press the switch, that means the connector or the wires coming from the connection are good. So, awesome. Alrighty, so that's good. I can finally tape this up, and then I can get back to the real problem. Changing out the tire. So I'm going to go grab some duct tape, tape this mess up, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.